Everybody had a good day. Can everybody hear me there? Wonderful. Okay, so let's start today's session. Please, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to ask them. This talk is all about you learning skills and how to actually put those skills into practice to improve your career success. Let me share my screen, please. Thank you. Okay, so today, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about a very, very important topic for a lot of you, because a lot of you have a problem getting this right. And a lot of you have a problem succeeding because of this. Can you share slides, please, Anu? Thank you. Okay, so today, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about how to bring your blind spots into focus. Most of you don't know that you have blind spots. Most of you don't realize that you have a blind spot. The fact is, we all have blind spots. All of us have a blind spot, but sometimes we do not know that we have it. We don't know how to recognize our own blind spot. A blind spot is a weakness. A blind spot is a weakness because we as individuals have not made an attempt to overcome that. So when I say bringing out your blind spot or bringing your blind spot into focus, what I'm saying is that by actually finding a way to actually overcome these roadblocks or these blind spots, you need to understand yourself, the way you think, the way you behave, your surroundings, and the way you communicate with others in order to maintain and achieve professional growth. So what is a blind spot? What is a blind spot? Many of us think that a blind spot is when we can't see clearly with one eye. That's not a blind spot. A blind spot, ladies and gentlemen, refers to an area or an aspect in your life that you don't see or you've overlooked or forgotten. And it's due usually to your limitations in your ability to think, your perception, or your sense of awareness or understanding of all the issues that may be surrounding your life or surrounding you in the country you live in right now. Knowledge or understanding play a big role. A blind spot can refer to gaps in knowledge, a gap in understanding, or awareness about a particular topic or situation. It's sometimes basic that you think you know something, but you don't know about it. And rather than admitting that you don't know about and learning, you go into a sense of a blind spot. And you do that usually intentionally. So can I ask you, is psychology a part or related to you having a blind spot? Well, we'll talk about that later. But a personal bias flaw or area of ignorance that you practice, whether you do it intentionally or unintentionally, basically is something that requires feedback from others to recognize. Now, if you're not prepared to listen to others and make the needed adjustments, you will forever live under the perception that everything is good when it's not. Psychologically, you'll be living a lie, because everybody needs to admit or recognize their own blind spots. So let's ask ourselves, does intelligence play a role in all this? Does it matter how smart you are? Intelligence can play a role. Intelligence, to a certain extent, does affect you being able to recognize and overcome a blind spot. But does it play such a detrimental effect that you would feel it if you didn't do it? No. intelligence can help, but it's not the only determining factor. There's other things which take precedence to intelligence. We all looked at in one of our previous sessions about the 9 types of intelligence. We said there is existential intelligence, mathematical and logical intelligence, musical intelligence, spatial intelligence, natural intelligence, intrapersonal intelligence, linguistic intelligence. And we also said that, intelligence can also be bodily or kinesthetic intelligence, which is the intelligence you have in order to be able to coordinate your mind and your body. Well, these elements of intelligence, everybody in society must have. But think about it. What role does intelligence play in you being able to know your blind spot? How can you bring your blind spots into focus? Do you need intelligence or don't you? Okay, so we say intelligence can play a role. It can be part of the ingredients, but it's not the sole determining factor. All right, so we can say that cognitive ability can facilitate critical thinking, analysis, and reflection, which can help identify blind spots. What is cognitive ability? It's you using your own logic and reasoning, you being able to visualize issues as they're raised with you and picture yourself on how you solve them. It has to do with your long-term memory, your auditory processing, your working memory, and the speed at which you process the inquiry or the communication. Remember, auditory processing is what you hear, you process based on the information you gather. All right, so we talked about other factors being cognitive ability. Cognitive ability means cognitive skills. Does everybody understand this so far? Good. The next one is self-awareness. Self-awareness. Intelligent people may be more likely to recognize their own biases and limitations. But self-awareness is a distinct trait that can be developed regardless of intelligence, regardless of race, religion, or color. It's something that everybody needs to develop. Okay, so let's look at self-awareness. Self-awareness is about having core values, setting yourself objectives and goals, being able to control your emotional intelligence, being able to challenge responses, being able to adhere to yourself or own personality and not have to pretend that you're someone else to be successful. Does everybody understand what I mean by control their personality? That means you have to be able to project a personality which shows that you are open, that you have a sense of empathy, that you can learn from your mistake. You must be able to understand what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. And you have to be able to deal with challenges rather than avoiding them in the fear that you may fail. So self-awareness is something that individuals may be more likely to recognize their own biases and limitations, providing you actually understand and practice self-awareness. Okay. There is 6 pillars to self-awareness, 6 basic bricks or building components to self-awareness. Let's talk about those. Your personality is an important role in self-awareness. Your personality operating system that influences how you interact with the world, how you process information, and how you make decisions is one of the 6 core ingredients. Number 2, your strengths and weaknesses are also a core pillar. Your personal strengths or superpowers and kryptonite, the energy that's in you, identifying what you bring to the table and where you need additional support. Key element. A key and important element in the 6 pillars of awareness. Self-awareness is a very important field or very important thing that all of us have to have in order to be able to move forward with our careers. A career without self-awareness is like a wave with no end. Your challenge response is one of the 6 pillars of awareness. You are triggered by and respond to challenges or stresses in your daily life without delay. Your emotional intelligence is a pillar of self-awareness. You have to harness the ability to understand, use, and manage your emotions in a positive way to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, and overcome challenges. These are key criteria in being able to manage your emotional intelligence, which is a critical pillar in the 6 pillars of self-awareness. If you can't manage your own emotional intelligence, then definitely you cannot be able to practice proper self-awareness. Because if you're not aware of yourself and you can't manage your own emotional awareness or manage how you perceive the things that happen to you, then you'll fail so far as being able to overcome your blind spots. Your personal objective and goals. If you don't have personal objectives and goals, therefore, if you don't have personal objectives and goals, just one moment, please. Anu, can you see me on the other screen? Hello, Anu? Anu?
No, Wally. No, Wally, we can't see you.
Okay, just give me a moment. I have to come back in. I've lost connection. Just give me a moment, will you? Okay, just give me a moment, everyone. Just give me a moment. Okay, Anu, I have to off my iPhone and repower it on. Just give me a moment. Okay, just give me a moment, guys. I'll be back. Sorry about this, guys. Just one moment, please. All right, I'm coming back in, Anu. Okay, here we come, guys. Coming now. Okay, can everybody see me again? I'm connecting now. I'm connecting, Anu.
In progress.
Okay, can everybody see me?
Yeah, yes, Wally, yes.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Okay, guys, I really apologize for that. Thank you very much for your understanding. All right. Can everybody see me? Yes?
Wally, can you please turn on your video?
Yes, doing it now, ma'am. Can you see me now? Anu?
Yeah, yes, Wally can.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. Wally's back. Okay, let me just get this camera sorted out and let's go on. All right. So everybody can see me and hear me. Can you wave to me again, please? Everybody wave to me. Come on, guys, wave to me if you can hear me. Good, excellent. I'm really sorry about Zoom today, guys. All right, can everybody hear me? Wave to me, everyone. Sorry, guys. You know, Wally is very, very fussy about his connection. Okay, so let's go on. So we're talking before about self-awareness and the tools or the mechanisms or the ingredients of self-awareness. Does everybody understand what I mean by that? Yes or no? You understand what I mean by that? Yes? All right, good. So let's assume that you're not aware or you don't practice the 6 pillars of self-awareness. That means you're not aware of what's going on around you. Do you all understand what I mean by that? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, good. So let me ask you, Nanda, anybody, if you go out with someone and inside yourself you don't like that person, will you enjoy the time you spend going out with them? No. Everybody wave your hand if you agree with me. You won't enjoy the time going out with them. Is that right, everyone? Yes or no? Wave your hands, Andrea. Come on, guys. Can you hear me? Very good. Andrea, everybody must wave their hands when I talk to them. Andrea, can you hear me? Would you agree that if you go out with someone you don't like them, you won't feel anything? Wave your hands, please. Come on, everyone, wave your hands if you hear what I'm saying. Really important, guys, that you switch on your cameras and participate. You won't learn anything from this talk if you switch off your camera and put your phone in your pocket. You need to participate. You need to on your phones and participate. All right. So self-awareness, or the pillar of self-awareness, is when you are able to feel and understand the way you feel. Self-awareness. If you go out with a boy and you don't like him, then you will not be happy. If you go out with a guy that's a hunk and you really like him, then you self-awareness or your own psychological condition will motivate you to perform better or do better or have a better time with him. Would everybody agree with that? Yes or no? Yes or no? Everybody agree with that? Fantastic. Excellent. So being able to recognize your inner feelings, being able to understand your inner feelings is a pillar of self-awareness. Let's go back to my PowerPoint. Okay, just hold on for a moment, guys. Okay. Everybody can see my slide? Okay, good. So remember, your personal objectives and goals, the direction you want to take, and a way to measure your progress towards what you want to achieve is an element of self-awareness. And the only way you can understand or be able to manage your goals is to control your emotional intelligence, as I just explained. For example, you go out with a boy. If in your own mind you say to yourself that you don't like that boy, then the time you spend with that boy is not going to be very meaningful, because you won't enjoy it, because in the back of your mind, you know that the goal of this date was to have fun, but you can't have fun because in the back of your mind, you're saying to yourself, you don't like him. Why are you there with him? So the reason that happens is because you build roadblocks in the way you think, because you're afraid to admit reality. And that is a pillar of self-awareness. Your core values, the values that your mother and father taught you are a pillar of self-awareness. Could you go to the next slide, please, Anu? Thank you, Anu. Core values. Sorry, I think you go back, Anu, because the guys didn't see the previous slide, so I can explain it to them again. Can you go back one? Okay. All right, guys, for those who didn't see this slide, your personal objectives and goals are really important, because for you to achieve your personal objectives and goals, you need to understand where you are and you need to feel motivated to achieve those. So if you have emotional roadblocks, if you do something because you're doing it for the sake of doing it because you don't want to admit the truth, then the result you'll achieve will not meet your objectives and goals. Thank you. Let's move on. The same goes for core values. These are the core principles that you deem most important in your life. These are the principles that your mother and father brought you up on, that are non-negotiable in your pursuit of a productive and happy life. But some people deliberately go against these core values because they're afraid to admit that there is a roadblock that's preventing them from achieving what they want to achieve. But they're too embarrassed or they're too scared to admit that. Open-mindedness. Now, I think open-mindedness is something that, I tell all my team about. I think Anu will tell you that open-mindedness is something that intelligent people must practice all the time. If you have an issue with something, you must say, darling, I don't like you wearing a pink t-shirt. I like my boyfriend to wear a black t-shirt. You have to have an open mind. As an intelligent person, you may be open to new information and perspectives and feedback, which can help them identify and address blind spots. But if you say to him, I don't want you wearing pink, I want you wearing black, does that mean you have an open mind? No, you're being narrow-minded. So what is open-mindedness in self-awareness? It's being able to have an open mind about something that you don't or have never previously liked. For example, him wearing a pink t-shirt. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Yes or no? Put your hands up. Come on. Everybody put your hands up. Does everybody understand what I said? Very good. Okay. All right. Please stop talking to your friends in the car and focus on my lesson. Folks, please, if you want to attend BizTalk, you have to look at me and learn, not wave your head around and talk to your friends. It's BizTalk, okay? Please. Okay, so open-mindedness is your ability to focus, your ability to be able to accept changes, your ability to go out of your, what we call your narrow-minded block, your little box in your mind, and accept new things and new ways of doing things, all right? Now, you might say, hold on, My mother and father never did this. Why should I do it? Because your mother and father are from a different generation. You have to go beyond the status quo. You have to open your mindset and be open-minded. If you're not open-minded, then you will never really be self-aware because you're not allowing yourself to be self-aware. All right, so let's look at what self-awareness is. Let's look at what self-awareness is or what open-mindedness is. But before I talk about open-mindedness, okay, I just want to stress something clearly, that if you are narrow-minded, do you think you can be successful? You can't. Think of the word open-minded. Open-minded person is person that is open to grow, a person who wants to succeed. Okay, let's look at open-mindedness. Open-mindedness comes with three main ingredients. The first ingredient is having a rational mindset, ruled by thinking, facts, and logic. That means you must think of past experiences, you must research and base your decisions today on what you may have learned in the past. You must have a wise mindset. You must be able to say, I feel this and know this, so let me have an open mind, let me learn more. You have to have an emotional mindset, and that is feelings. You have to be able to express your anger or anxiety where needed and not be afraid to do that. Now, with emotions comes sadness, fear, and stress. So if we look at the three arrows across the bottom, 1, ruled by thinking, facts, and logic. 2, inner wisdom, the synthesis between emotions and mind and a rational mind. And 3, ruled by feelings and urges. So if I can ask you, which of the 3 states of self open-mindedness or open-mindedness as far as self-awareness do you think you should be using on a daily basis? Should you be using an emotional mindset where you let your emotions control your brain? Should you be using the wise mindset where I feel this, I do this, so I will just do this because this is all I know? Or do you use a rational mindset where you take on your past experiences, you use logic and you ask questions and then move forward as needed? Rational mindset would take you into open-mindedness. A wise mind would mean you have a narrow mind. And an emotional mind means that you are beyond thinking. You're in an emotional state. And an emotional state means that you're not going to be successful. Remember, you should always leave your emotions at home when you're trying to become successful. The next one, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call the experience and learning factor. Intelligence can aid in learning. Intelligence plays a very important element in learning. Experience and learning are important if you want to have self-awareness. Self-awareness doesn't come by living as a stereotype just because your mother did it that way. Let me give you a common example that comes up amongst successful people all the time. Why are you single, Jenny? Because my mother and father got divorced. I'm afraid to getting married. That is stereotype. That is not open-mindedness. Jenny will never be happy because she lived on her own and hugged her pillow all her life. Does everybody understand that example that I just gave you? Yes or no? Everybody understand that example? Wave your hands for me. Can everybody put on their camera and wave their hands for me, please? Come on, very good. So if Jenny if Jenny wants to be open-minded, thank you guys. If Jenny wants to be open-minded, she has to overcome her fear because her parents were divorced. Her parents lived in a different time. Her father could have been a playboy. It doesn't mean that all the boyfriends she's going to meet are playboys. Do you understand what I mean by this? Yes or no? So she had a negative experience, but Jenny's not open to learning and moving forward. And therefore, she's guaranteed to fail. Experience and learning come hand in hand. And that means you have to have an open-mindedness. You have to be clear on your objectives and goals. And otherwise, you are not self-aware. Let's go on. Next part. Let's look at this. Self-learning comes in 3 steps. Number 1, initiating and maintaining of active learning all the time. You should never say no to learning new ideas that go with the life that you're living. Planning, monitoring, and checking of learning behavior. You should always ask yourself, well, what did I do today compared to what I did yesterday, and how much better was the result? So let's go to the first one, motivational level, regulation of self. That means regulating yourself to an attitude where you always want to continue learning actively. The second psychological state is what we call the metacognitive state level, and this is regulation of the learning process. You have to be open to learning. You have to have an open mind where you always want to learn. Even if you disagree with what you hear, you need to evaluate it, study it, and learn from it. And the last one is what we call cognitive level regulation of processing of the information. So if cognitively, in your own mindset, you say to yourself, no, I don't want to listen. I don't want to hear this. I know I don't want to do this. And you're afraid to listen, then you are failing to be self-aware. All right. This is a technique that we teach to kids, usually in primary 5 or primary 6, before they go to secondary school. We call it the Feynman effect, or the Feynman learning technique. Very easy. Pick a topic. I want to find a girlfriend. Write about it as if you're explaining it to someone. Okay, Jenny, you want to find a boyfriend. First, you need to decide what sort of boyfriend. You need to make yourself look beautiful based on the boyfriend you want to find. You need to ask yourself, if this boyfriend's Japanese, what does he like in a girlfriend? You have to basically try to be logical. Okay? A plus B plus C equals D. You can't go A plus C equals D without B. So you have to follow all the steps that you think that you will need to address for you to be successful and find a Japanese boyfriend. The Feynman effect is nothing new. It's a basic principle that people have been practicing for years. But the problem is they don't relate with it. They think it's too hard. Finding a boyfriend, I just go out wearing a miniskirt, I'll find a boyfriend. Or the guy says, it's easy. I'll just put on my jeans or my t-shirt, show my big muscles, go to a nightclub, and a girl will go out with me. Well, unfortunately, guys, both of you, girls and guys, you're living outside reality. Times have changed. People are a lot more discerned about who they go out with or who they dance with today than they were when your mother and father grew up. And that's a fact of life. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Does everybody understand what I've said so far? Can you wave your hands, please? Does everybody understand what I've said? Good. So the Feynman effect is a very simple effect. If I talk to my co-host and colleague here tonight and say to her, Miss Anu, if you want to teach your son how to do something, what is the best way to do it? And she'll tell you, I'll sit there and go it step by step. Son, you must do this. Then you must do this. Then you must write it this way. You must make sure you put your answer here, or the teacher will mark it wrong. Am I right, Anu? Okay, I do that every day with my daughter when she writes a composition. My daughter likes to write the composition in 5 minutes, put it away, play with her computer. Why? Because she's in a hurry to watch, her iPad. She forgets to dot the I's and cross the T's, and the next day the teacher deducts half a mark for every spelling mistake, even if it was an I without the dot, because the teacher's trying to teach her how to write properly. She's in primary 3. So it's the same. Just like you teach a child, Anu teaches her son, I teach my daughter, you teach your boyfriend. Everything you want to do in life, you must learn. And the only way to learn that is to list it out step by step without missing the blind spots. Do you all understand this? Yes or no? Yes or no? Wave your hands, please. Wonderful. Wong Kien Hua, do you understand me today, Wong Kien? Good to see you, Wong Kien. Hi, Dr. Sarah. I hope you're enjoying today's session, Doctor. Okay, remember, guys, the sense of mindset or the sense of open-mindedness. You might think that Wally's simplifying this because, if I was a psychologist or a psychiatrist, I'd be putting this to you in a much more academic way. The reason I'm simplifying this today is to make sure that you wake up and understand what I mean by open-mindedness, what I mean by the 6 elements of self-awareness. Thank you very much. Thank you. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Yes or no? Great. Ayan, do you understand what I said, Mr. Ayan, in your white t-shirt? Wave your hand to me, Ayan. Good. Do you have a girlfriend, Ayan? Do you have a girlfriend? No? Yes or no? Yes? Very good, Ayan. You might want to practice some of this with her. Okay, good. Where's Ria today? Hi, Ria. Ria Mate, how are you? Wave your hand, Madam Ria. Ria, wave your hand to me. Good girl. Excellent. Okay, do you understand what I've explained so far, Ria? Ria? Good girl, Ria. Excellent. Okay. All right. Everybody understands what I've said? Very good. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Angelo. Thank you, Siti Fatima. Thank you, Magdalene. Hisan Kargu, do you understand what I said, Hisan? Very good. Excellent. What about Nyin? Do you understand what I've said? Okay. Listen, guys, this is really important because you're all at stages of your life now where you're at turning point. It's like going to an intersection and you have to decide whether you take the golden road or the black road. The black road is a road full with roadblocks and negatives, and the golden road is a road where you walk down a road and learn every step you take. But part of learning is being self-aware. And to be self-aware, you have to be very determined. You have to have open-mindedness. You cannot say no to listening to others or to learning new ideas. Even if your mother told you, don't ever marry. Boys are bad. Just because she had a bad experience in her life. Do you understand that, guys? Yes or no? Yeah? My father once told me, for every time you have $100, don't spend it, put it in the bank. And every time you have $50, don't spend it because you want to get $100. Eat the cheapest food, buy the cheapest clothes, you become a millionaire. Well, sadly, I didn't follow his steps. When my father died, he died more than a millionaire. But did he enjoy his money while he was alive? I don't think so. Was there any point to it? Well, people would say he was trying to save it for us. But what's the point? Because he made the money, but he wasn't prepared to spend it like other people do. And because my father grew up on the norms that his father taught him back in the 40s and the 50s, where it was crazy to spend money because, you know, they lived through wars, etc., 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 and they had a different perception of life. Do you understand this? Yes or no? And by the way, my father died at 89 years old. All right. He didn't die young. He died a millionaire, actually more than a millionaire. But was he happy with his life? No, because he never allowed himself to be happy. He was always worried about the balance at the bank rather than him enjoying life. He was living in a box. Do you understand what I mean, that, guys? Yes or no? There was no open-mindedness. No matter how often I tell him, Dad, enjoy life. You don't need to worry about me or my sister. We worry for ourselves. Enjoy your life. No, you're my children. I have to worry. Do you understand what I mean by open-mindedness? Yes or no? Yes or no? One day your children are going to be asking you the same question. Take it from me, guys. It's going to happen. One day, Anu's son's going to be asking, Mummy, I'm 16 years old. Why can't I go out and dance till 5 o'clock in the morning? And Anu's going to be saying, no, you've got school tomorrow. You're home by 10 o'clock. And then she's going to explain to him the logic of why he has to be home by 10 o'clock, right? Am I right, Anu? And Anu is going to have gray hair when she gets to that age because she's going to be saying to her son, you're a baby. You shouldn't be asking these questions anymore. You're too young for that. You get a girlfriend after you graduate from university, right? That's what every parent wants. But is that today's life? No, no way. She knows that. I know that. And she knows when her son's 16, he's probably going to have friends and he wants to go out with them. But she has to use the Friedman way to explain to him what going out means and what is right and what is wrong. Am I right, Anu? We all have to do that. And that's where open-mindedness comes in. If she just said no to him, he'll just go out the window, go to a party without telling her. But if she's open-minded with him and listens and explains to him and gives him logical reasons, the chances are he'll be much more successful and much more obedient. Would you all agree with that? Yes or no? Yes or no? Come on, no one's talking to me. You all disagree with me? Come on, please. Anu agrees with me, don't you, Anu? Do you agree with me, Anu? Okay, all right. So, guys, life is about a journey. I keep telling you this. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, Joy. Life is a journey. I just asked young Mr. Ayan if he has a girlfriend, and I believe he has, and good luck to him. He should have. But Ayan is focused on one thing at this point of his life. And wave to me if you agree with me, Ayan. Ayan is focused on becoming successful, number one. Number two, he's focused on making money. Number three, he's focused on making his parents proud of him. And number four, he's focused on finding a partner in his life. Am I right, Ayan? Yes or no? So Ayan needs to have an open mind because along the way, he's going to learn different things as he goes. And if he ignores those, he will fail. Would you agree, Ayan? Very good. Excellent. Okay. Can I ask you, has anybody even here, anyone, has anybody eaten snake? Put your hand up if you have eaten snake meat. Anyone? Very good. Excellent. Excellent, Roxel. Okay, Roxel has tried snake. So did I once. Did I know it was snake? No one told me. Now that I ate it, am I sorry? No, because after I ate it, it was so flavorful that now I don't know where to buy it again. And I wouldn't know how to cook it. Because when I ate it in a very expensive restaurant in China. And I don't know what sort of snake or where they bought it. But I was open-minded. If I was dumb enough to say no and didn't try it, I would never know. Do you understand that? Yes or no? Yes? You know, I don't know if you understand this quote, and I think Anu would understand it, and some of the older students here would understand it. When you live in China, do as the Chinese do. When you live in Dubai, do as the Emiratis do. When you go to a mosque, do as the Muslims do. When you go to the church, pray as the Christians do. Do you all understand those do as they do quotes? Do you think they're real? They are. There's a reason for it, right? There's a reason for it, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay. And this is the same thing with you having an open mindset. There's a reason why you need to have an open mindset. Because if you don't have an open mindset, Maravik, no matter how beautiful you are, Maravik Santos, your success will be delayed. Do you understand me, Maravik? Hi, Maravik. Wave your hand to me, gorgeous. You look absolutely adorable with your white top today. Okay, so listen, guys. Open-mindedness is a tool that you need. Okay, exactly right. If you want to eat exotic foods, go to China. Thank you for that, Redemption. Okay, all right. Well, actually, Redemption, there's another country you want to go to. If you want to eat exotic foods, go to Central Asia, go to Uzbekistan. It's even better. The kebab is incredible. Okay, so listen carefully, guys. Open-mindedness is an element of self-awareness. It's one of the 6 principles of self-awareness, okay? Does everybody understand that now? Do you understand how simple? You're welcome, Ahmadjon. Okay, do you understand what I mean by it now? Yes or no? Okay, let's go back to our PowerPoint, please, guys. So as I said, the principle that we're following here today, the Feynman principle or the Feynman learning technique, is a simple technique. 1, 2, 3, 4, no gaps. 1 + 2 = 3, 3 + 1 = 4, 4 + 1 = 5, etc. Thank you. All right, let's go on. Okay, the role of intelligence. So if we talk about what we just learned here, if we talk about the 6 pillars of self-awareness, okay, your core values. Sorry, let's go back to the beginning. Okay, your strengths and weaknesses, your personality. Okay, here we go. Your personality, number 1. Your strengths and weaknesses, number 2. Your challenge response, the way you respond to things that happen on a daily basis. Your emotional intelligence, your objectives and goals in life, your core values, and your ability to be open-minded. Okay, so we said then you need to be able to treasure experience and continue learning. And we said that the Feynman learning technique is critical, or it's an easy way to make sure you do that. So taking all that into account, could we say that intelligence is not a prerequisite for recognizing blind spots? Intelligence is one of the elements, but you can do it even if you're not intelligent. You don't have to be intelligent to be successful. Does everybody understand that? Albert Einstein died a genius. When he was born, he never for once said to himself he's a genius. He was a man that knew what he was talking about, and he made his mark on history because he was open-minded and he was open to exploring. And that's why Albert Einstein is one of the greatest names that went down in history. You all know who Albert Einstein is, right? All right. Intelligence is not a prerequisite, but let's talk about other things which are a prerequisite. And there is no if, but, or maybe to these. Number 1, you have to be open-minded. You have to be open to receiving constructive feedback that can help you as an individual overcome your blind spots. Can I give you another simple example? Let me give you another simple example. And this example is going to be really simple, and I hope you all appreciate it. I hope you all appreciate this example. Okay, let's take this. Let's take this. All right, let me use the ladies as an example because that's the easiest one. Ladies, I want you to imagine that you're going to a very, very important wedding. A member of your family is getting married. Okay? And the person getting married is your sister. And your sister says to you, I want you to be my bridesmaid. You all know what a bridesmaid is, yes or no? And your sister says, however, all the bridesmaids have to wear this hairstyle, they have to wear pink nail polish, and they have to wear pink dresses and high heel pink shoes. Listening carefully, right? You turn around and say to your sister, no, I will never change my hairstyle. I've had my hair like this for 25 years. I don't like pink. I will never wear pink. Your sister says, if you don't do this, you're not coming to my wedding. I hate you. Listen carefully. How many of you would change your mind and do as your sister wants? Put your hand up. Put your hand up now. One person only would do as their sister wants, right? 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. All of the others would say, I don't care. Okay? And your sister would not see you at their wedding as a bridesmaid. All right, very good. Thank you for that. Now, let me tell you the negative side of this. If you don't accommodate your sister, she'll probably never forgive you. She'll probably never feel the same towards you. And every day you'll tell your children and their children that mummy did not go to her own sister's wedding because mummy was not prepared to wear a pink dress. Pink dress you can throw out and buy another one. Your hair will grow again. But will you ever have another sister? Probably not. Will you ever be able to live the experience of your sister's wedding again? Probably not. Would you all agree with that? Yes or no? So what I'm saying to you is you don't have to be intelligent to be successful. People don't plan to fail. People fail to learn how to be successful. Do you all understand that? Yes or no? Yes or no? Come on, guys, please. Very good. So let me leave you with this scenario. Was she right to say to her sister, no, she wasn't? Was her sister right to ask her? Yes, because her sister is marrying a rich doctor and they're spending a lot of money on the bridesmaids, and she cares about her older sister and she wants her older sister to look young and fit amongst the bridesmaids. So she looks pretty like all the others. Was her sister doing anything wrong? No. So there can never be 2 wrongs. There's always going to be 1 right, 1 wrong. But if you're not prepared to adapt, then forever you'll be lonely and you'll be unsuccessful. It's part of the ongoing journey of life where people are not prepared to be open-minded and want to fight the world. And at the end, they fail and die lonely. Do you understand that? They die poor because they can't make any money. You all understand this? Put up your hands. Very good. Do you all understand my simple example? Yes or no? Okay. All right, let's go on. Okay, so guys, feedback from others or receiving constructive feedback can help individuals identify blind spots. Her sister told her, I'm doing this because I want you to look young, so everybody at the wedding thinks you're beautiful like the other bridesmaids, and doesn't say, who's that old hag there? Why is she in the bridal party? Feedback. Listen to reason rather than being negative and adamant or arrogant. Remember, empathy is part of open-mindedness. Listening to other people and being able to take criticism is a critical element in being successful. Diverse perspectives. Diverse perspectives. The girl said to her sister, I've always had long hair, I'll never change. Because she's never tried anything different. Unless you're exposed to different viewpoints or different styles or different experiences in life, you cannot broaden your understanding of life and be an open-minded person. Reflective practices. Being able to engage in self-reflection, journaling, or mediation can increase self-awareness. Remember we spoke this talk about journaling, keeping a record of what you do and what you learned from it? Yes or no? Do you remember that, guys? Anu? Anu remembers, of course she does. Okay? Humility and willingness to learn. Humility is your ability and your readiness to actually say, yes, I'll try. It's different. I want to try it. I want to learn. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Wave your hands to me. Come on, everyone. Being open to growth can be more important than intelligence. Anybody can be intelligent. Come on, guys. Let me give you examples of some of the least intelligent people in the world. Does everybody know Sir Richard Branson? He owns Virgin Airways, one of the richest men in the world. He owned Virgin Records. He is the man behind Virgin Space. He had Virgin Mobile. Richard Branson, ladies and gentlemen, was a technical school dropout and troublemaker who went to prison. He came out and he's one of the richest men in the world. Was he intelligent? No. But he learned how to learn from other people and he built an empire. If he was intelligent, he would never have gone to jail. Do you understand that, guys? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, good. So what is intelligence? What is intelligence? Ask yourself, what is it? Intelligence is a store of knowledge that you hold. Your knowledge level is higher than his. That's how most people measure intelligence. But just because your knowledge is lesser than his, it doesn't mean you can't be successful. It just means you have to learn how to be open-minded and learn from others. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Everybody understand that? Yes? Are you sure? Very good. Okay, let me go back to my slides. Like, so as I said, you have to have humility. You have to be willing to learn. Humility and a willingness to learn. Okay, here we go. Important impact on success. Blind spots can significantly impact success in various areas of life, including personal and professional development. So let's repeat. Humility and willingness are a must. Reflective practices are a must. Diverse perspectives are a core ingredient, like breathing air or drinking water. Feedback from others, identify blind spots, is a must. Open-mindedness. Intelligence is not a prerequisite. You can be dumb, but be rich. You can be intelligent, but have no sense of open-mindedness, no empathy, and die poor. Like my father, he died rich without enjoying it. Was he intelligent? Yeah. Did he have money? Yeah. But he wasn't prepared to learn from the 20th century economy or 21st century. He was living in the 17th or 16th or 15th or 18th or 19th, whatever he wants to say to himself. He was living in his father's era. Intelligence is not a prerequisite. Intelligence can help, but the real prerequisites to being successful are feedback from others, receiving constructive feedback, which helps you identify your blind spots. It can be diverse perspectives that you learn from what others around you are doing that broaden your horizon and for you to understand how things are happening in today's world. Reflective practices, by you engaging in self-reflection, keeping a diary and learning as you go along. Humility and a willingness to learn are critical because they can be more important than intelligence. Blind spots can significantly impact success in various areas of your life. Don't ever overcome that, because the longer you deny that blind spots will impact your life is how long you're going to continue failure. And that's the reality. Impact on success. Well, poor decision making. Unrecognized biases or limitations can lead to flawed decision making, potentially resulting in missed opportunities or mistakes. For example, the girl who refused to do what her sister asked her to go to a wedding. Her hair will grow back. She'll wear the pink dress once and throw it out and never have to wear it again. But at least she made her sister happy and enjoyed one of her sister's most important days of her life, a wedding. Missed opportunities. Well, if you don't recognize the roadblocks now, if you don't try to overcome them now, by the time you do, it'll be too late. It'll be too late for her to go to her sister's wedding because her sister may only get married once. Stagnation, stalemate, lack of progress means, like my father, you'll die with millions of dollars in the bank, but you'll die miserable because you never got to enjoy it. Strained relationships. The girl who refused to go to her sister's wedding because she had to change her hairstyle and wear a pink dress. Her relationship with her sister has been strained. Unawareness of one's own biases or behaviors can lead to conflicts or misunderstandings with others. She probably doesn't talk to her sister anymore. Limited growth. Limited growth. Blind spots can hinder personal and professional growth by preventing individuals from acknowledging areas of improvement because they are working or living a closed-minded lifestyle. In order to be successful, you have to be an open-minded person. Increased risk. Unrecognized blind spots can increase the risk of errors, accidents, or other negative outcomes. Let me talk to you about some companies that have been very successful. Let's talk about some companies who have learned from their mistakes and become successful. Let's talk about some of the people in the world that have learned from their mistakes and become successful. You know, one of my favorite examples for success is the one and only Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. You all know the Jobs story. Every one of you here should know the Jobs story, right? Steve Jobs went to Brown's College. He was an average kid from an average middle-class American family. He worked hard. His father worked hard to put him through college. He went to Brown's College. He graduated. He went to India. He came back. He started his own company called Apple. He employed people to run Apple. And 2 years later, the people he employed on the board told Steve Jobs he had to go. He wasn't thinking the way Apple thought, and he was bad for Apple. Steve Jobs was fired. Yes, Hesron, he was fired. He went home and cried to his father, "Dad, they fired me. It's my company. How could they fire me?" It's not your company. You employed them as a board. It's a public company. They have the right to fire you. Sorry, it was a private limited back then. Okay. All right. Yeah. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Did Steve Jobs give up? No, because he practiced focusing on overcoming his roadblocks. He practiced on having an open mindset. He practiced on listening to other people's perspectives. He practiced it from experience and learning. 2 years later, Apple came back to Jobs, said, Mr. Jobs, would you come back and work for us? And what did he say? Yes, Ron, did he say yes or no? He said no. Work for you? Never on your life. You fired me. They said, well, how can we get you back? He said, you want me back? You buy my companies, and when you buy them, you buy me too. He went back to Apple, but this time as chairman of the board and CEO. The people that used to work for him and fired him were now were basically on the line. Their jobs was on the line because Steve Jobs was back, and now he was their boss. Did that affect the way he ran the company? No. Those who did their job stayed with him. Those who didn't want to accept it, they were told to go. Steve Jobs took Apple from a small company and made it Apple Inc. as it is today. One of the most powerful, one of the most successful technology companies this century. Can anybody else build another Apple? Don't think so. With all the techno entrepreneurs we have in the world today, not one has what Steve Jobs had it. Not one of them has been able to achieve what Apple has achieved thanks to the stewardship of Steve Jobs. Do you think he was a closed-minded person? No. Do you think the technology in your iPhone could result from a closed-minded person? Absolutely not. Do you think that a narrow-minded person, like one of you guys, if you're narrow-minded, do you think you could have built the iPhone on your own? No. Do you think that Steve Jobs had the qualities of somebody who was able to overcome the roadblocks and be successful? Yes or no? Yes or no? Very good. Let me take you to another one. Does everybody know Amazon? Yes or no? Put your hands up if you know Amazon. Come on, Amazon. Do you think Jeff Bezos is narrow-minded? No. Do you think Jeff Bezos is someone who can overcome roadblocks? Hell yeah. Jeff Bezos became a multi-billionaire and now a trillionaire thanks to COVID-19. Do you know that? Because when COVID-19 came, he asked himself, what can I do differently compared to all the other e-commerce platforms in the world? So when they can't deliver, I can. He knew what he was doing. He opened different warehouses in 20 different parts of the world. He actually bought stock into the US warehouse and then used that to feed into all his other 20 warehouses in 20 different countries of the world. And he mapped it out so each country would deliver to another country within 3 days based on the logistics that he had arranged, notwithstanding COVID-19. The orders to Amazon grew 25 times during COVID-19. They multiplied 25 times on a daily basis. And Amazon was not a small company before COVID-19. Do you understand that, everyone? So do you think Jeff Bezos was somebody who was able to overcome obstacles? Yes. Would you agree that he was self-aware? Hell yeah. Because he knew that if shipping lines around the world close, that if China's ports close, that if factories in Korea close and he can't get enough stock in time, his online business would die. So as soon as COVID started and as soon as he heard the idea of there may be lockdowns, he bought as much as he could into his US warehouse and put it in the 20 warehouses he had developed. All of this comes from him being open to different perspectives. If he operated as a traditional businessman and said, I'll just wait till everything's normal again, why should I invest in opening warehouses in 20 countries? He probably would be out of business today. Do you understand this, ladies and gentlemen? Put your hands up, please, everyone. Okay, let's look at some other successes in the business world. One moment, please. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's look at some others. Okay. Let's look at Howard Schultz. Does everybody know Howard Schultz? Howard Schultz was the founder of Starbucks. He's a former CEO of Starbucks. He recognized a blind spot in the company's focus on rapid expansion, which compromised customer experience. And halfway through his stewardship, he refocused the company on customer satisfaction, leading to a significant turnaround. Okay, he recognized a blind spot in the company's focus. It focused on rapid expansion, but when they did that, they were more interested in opening stores than caring about the customers. He very quickly learned that because their sales went down and he refocused. Howard Schultz, one of the richest men in the world in the coffee business. He's a trillionaire. Okay, next one, Microsoft. Microsoft, former CEO Satya Nadella, recognized the company's blind spot in cloud computing. He led the company's shift towards cloud-based services, resulting in significant growth and success. If you remember, many years ago, you used to buy Microsoft Word or Microsoft Office. You used to have to buy it on CD or hard disk or a floppy disk and install it on your own computer. Satya Nadella introduced cloud computing, introduced Microsoft 365, where you buy the software on the cloud and use it. No more buying boxes and going to shops. That is what has made Microsoft one of the largest computer software providers in the world. Microsoft Windows operating system is one of the most successful operating systems in the world. Forget Linux, forget iOS. Microsoft is still the most used operating system in the world. Windows for Apple or Windows for PC, it's the same. All right. So by him bringing in cloud-based services such as Office 365 and all their softwares, their sales have never stopped booming. Here you have it. You have Howard Schultz, you have Microsoft. Okay, both of them are some of the world's most successful businessmen. And I told you about Steve Jobs. Does everybody remember who Steve Jobs is? Yes or no? Do you all remember who Steve Jobs is? Yes or no? Come on, put your hands up if you know Steve Jobs. Quickly, show me you remember. Everybody know who Steve Jobs is? Put your hands up. Let's go. Thank you, King. Thank you, everyone. Does anybody have any questions on what I've told you so far? Can you put your hand up and I'll answer them? Anyone? Put your hand up for me. Are you sure? Can you put your questions in the chat box? Anybody with a question? Put it in the chat box for me. Come on, let's go. Hesron, you must have a question, Hesron. Roxil Axon, you have any questions? Roxil Axon? Roxil? Okay, so remember that having an open mindset or having the qualities of being able to overcome the blind spots is a critical footstep in your success. Rindiscon, do you have a question for me? Sorry, hold on, I missed it. One moment, please. I've got a question. Okay, all right. Okay, so remember that it's not about intelligence. People don't want to fail. People just fail to learn how to be successful. Do you all understand this? Yes or no? Yes or no? Has anybody here ever done anything that they've been scared of all their life? Anyone? I want you to be honest. How many of you have gone parachute jumping? Anyone? No? How many of you have gone skydiving? I've got a question. Hold on, I like this question. This is a very good question. Okay, let me just read it. Okay, my simple yet profound question is, how did billionaire transform the world in their industry? Maybe they have already resources available. Absolutely not, Elvin. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're absolutely wrong, wrong, wrong. 100% wrong. They started with nothing. The most powerful people in the world started with nothing. They started with an idea and built on it and made money. Steve Jobs, when he started, got investors. He put forward iOS and, he started developing iOS. People invested in him. Most people don't have money when they start. They go looking for investors. That's part of business. Was Steve Jobs a millionaire before he started Apple? No. He was the son of an everyday average middle-class American family. Your problem, Alvin, is unless you realize that you can do it, unless you believe in yourself and try to be successful and always think, well, I can't because they had money, I don't, you'll forever not be successful. That's a fact of life. Providing you have the right business idea and the right business plan, asking people to finance it is not an issue. It's for you developing the right idea and business plan first, and you having the right experience to make the business profitable. Does everybody understand that, guys? Yes or no? Wave your hands if you understand me. All right, does everybody understand this? Yes, Adrian? Andrea? Okay, good. Okay, so guys, it's all about you believing in yourself. Just to answer the question again, let me just go back to that question. Just to answer Alvin Kabulna again. Alvin, if you're so confident that you have a business idea that will be successful, put it into a business plan. And then if you need help on how to get an investor, tell me and I'll show you how. I'll teach you how to go about looking for one. But don't ever give up and say, well, how can I do it because they had money? That would be the biggest mistake you make. That means you've got no willpower and no confidence in yourself. No one is entitled to a silver spoon. If you're expecting that money is going to drop from the sky to build a business for you, that's never going to happen because no one gives charity. If you want to be successful, you have to learn and make yourself successful, just like other people have done. You have to be a want-to-be millionaire. You have to be a want-to-be billionaire. And the only way you're going to do that is by learning. I hope that answered your question, Alvin. As I said, if you've got a business plan, send it to me. Drop me an email or WhatsApp. I'm happy to guide you on what you can do and how you can find success. All right. Does anybody else have a question for me? Okay. Alvin, I will, sir. I really need your business plan template. I'm working on it now. Just need to present to Kingston teachers and mentor. Well, you're happy to present it to me, Alvin. I'd be happy to read it. I'd be your best person to read it. Okay, let me read it first. I've already given you a business plan template, Alvin, in one of the previous biz talks. If you weren't at that biz talk, please drop me a WhatsApp message after today's lesson. I'd be happy to send you a Word document template that you may want to use tomorrow or on Monday. When you drop me the message, Alvin, tell me what sort of business, because that would change the template that I send you. Is it IT? Is it retail? Is it food, or whatever it is? Okay, you're welcome. Jonah Rugan, how to get an investor. First, you need to develop a business plan. Gisabel Lebayan, how to be a millionaire. Open your own business, work hard, you'll become a millionaire. Come up with an idea of a business you want to start, write a business plan, and then I'm happy to help you correct it and tell you how to go about trying to find an investor. I really need also the business plan template. Again, G Wells, if you need it, send me a WhatsApp message after tonight's biz talk. Tell me what sort of business. I'll be happy to provide you a template. Just for those of you who don't know how to contact me, I'll put my WhatsApp number in the box. You can WhatsApp me only at this number if you want help. And this is for everyone. Okay, let me do it again. You send it to me by WhatsApp. But if you need help, use WhatsApp. Telegram is only for official messages. If you want my personal help, use WhatsApp. Sir, if you had to start over today with no resource or network, what would be the very first step you'd take to create success again? It's a very great question. Thank you, Jalen. The first thing I do is find something that no one's ever done before. I lock myself in a room for 2 days and try to write down everything that you think your country or the world needs that no one has done before you. Then I would start looking at the 5 C's. What sort of customers would buy this? What sort of product would they buy? Why would they buy it? How much would they be prepared to pay? And how would they buy it? If you can find that out, then I'm happy to help you and guide you along the way. Sir, what to do when a competitor ruins your reputation and then the customers will not buy from you because there is a competitor who ruins your life? Well, you know, I don't believe that for a minute, Daniela or Danielle. If you let a competitor ruin your life, it's because you did something wrong or you don't know how to deal with your competitor. If you are a smart business person, or if that really happened and you don't know how to deal with it, you should ask for help. And if a competitor has ruined your business on false grounds, you should see a lawyer and ruin their life by suing them for everything they have. Okay, but usually if you understand business principles and you realize that your competitor's taking some of your business, you need to realign your business plans, your strategic plans, and change the product or the service in order to get your customers back. You can't wait till the end and say my competitor stole all my customers. What that means is you failed. And the reason you failed is because you didn't understand how to manage and put an end to your competitor. Would you agree with that, Danielle? Daniela? Daniele, can you raise your hand if you agree with me? Okay. So in every business, there is the door to success. In every business. Don't tell me that any business around the world doesn't have a door to success. Every business around the world has a door to success, guys. And that goes without saying. Every business around the world has a door to success. I've got more messages coming. Just give me a minute. Okay, all right. So as we know, every business around the world has a door for success. It just means that the actual owner or the business itself doesn't know how to run itself. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? You all understand that? Everybody understand that no matter what the business is, there's a chance for success. It's a chance for success. Every business has a chance for success. Businesses don't fail because they want to fail. They fail because they don't know how to fix it. What I prefer you do, Danielle, is send me a private WhatsApp message after today's lesson in WhatsApp, and I'd be happy to talk to you. I don't think I want you to mention the name of the business who ruined your business, etc. Here, it wouldn't be fair to you or the other business. But if you want to message me directly, I'd be happy to help you. Okay, all right. So remember that in today's world, business is a very complicated world. When starting a business, how do you find a way to balance the pros and cons for the business? By coming up with a business plan, Shira, and having somebody else give you input on the business plan, somebody like me give you input on whether your business plan is doomed for success or failure. That would be your best starting point, ma'am. And, let me say, ma'am, that in business, everybody takes risks, but you have to take a calculated risk. So providing you have a business plan and you have done SWOT analysis, you've done experimental testing with your product or service, and you have somebody who's actually read your business plan and given you advice on what you should or shouldn't, can or can't do, and you've taken steps to mitigate the risk and control the risk, then you can start a business. But remember, the scale of the business you start will be defined by how much finance you have or can raise in order to make it happen. Business is not difficult. It's not that people can't start a business. People don't understand how to start a business. That's the failure. Do you all understand this, guys? Yes or no? Hold on, I've got another message here. Sir, hold on, what is this? There's a saying, let others' money work for you. I think this is really a big help to get started into any business you want to build. Study the business and take the risk. Well, if you always want to let others' money work for you, first you have to show them that you have the confidence to use your own money, then ask them for more money. That's true. I didn't do anything wrong, sir. Maybe because my customers comes to and finish my products and I get sold out. Well, if that's the case, you should have had more products. You should have had more suppliers. You should have taken the steps to understand what customer demand is and made sure you could counter the demand. Because if you can't counter demand, you ruin your reputation and lose your customers. So that doesn't mean your competitor killed your business. That means you killed your own business by not having the right levels of stock or the right levels of product availability. Maybe you didn't know how to actually get the stock. Maybe you didn't have enough money. Maybe you didn't know how to manage the money you got from sales and reinvest it in more product. Maybe the selling price on your product was different and the profit margin was too low. These are all questions, Daniele, that I can only answer once I get all the information from you and you explain to me. I'd be happy to answer and help you. Does anybody else want to ask me a question? Anybody else? Okay, let's just go back to what we learned today, guys. Let me just share my slides. One moment, please. So let's just go back to what we covered today, because I think this is the most important part, is what did we cover today? Ladies and gentlemen, today we covered how to bring your blind spot into focus. We understand that bringing your blind spot into focus is a core criteria for you to overcome failure. No one plans to fail. People fail to learn how to be successful. So bringing your blind spots into focus will gain you a deeper understanding of yourself and your surroundings, leading to a personal business and professional growth. Your blind spot, guys, is something that refers to an area or an aspect that you deliberately fail to realize or deliberately do not want to visualize. You just continually mentally block it out deliberately. That is the most common definition of blind spot. The other most common definition that we get, or excuses that we get, is I didn't know it existed. And that is a fallacy. Everybody knows that their blind spot exists, but they're too afraid to admit it. We also spoke about the role of intelligence. We said that intelligence can play an important role. However, it's not the sole determining factor in overcoming blind spots. Okay, we also spoke about the importance of the 6 pillars in self-awareness. And we said that your personality is pillar number 1. Your 6 strengths and weaknesses are pillar number 2. Your challenge and response to those challenges is number 3. Your emotional intelligence is number 4. Your personal objectives and goals are number 5. Your core values are number 6. And your open-mindedness, last but not least, which makes up number 6. All right, so does everybody understand what we mean? Sorry, let's go on. Yeah, open-mindedness being number 6. Okay. Experience and learning comes in, okay? So did I just say, yeah, sorry, I said open-mindedness is number 6. Open-mindedness is number 5. And experience and learning is number 6. I do apologize for that. Okay, these are really, really important, okay? Because without these guys, these factors, okay, without these factors, how can you say that you're self-aware? Feedback from others helps you and makes you more self-aware. Diverse perspectives and not having a closed mindset makes you self-aware. Reflective practices by reflecting on what you know and trying to learn more. Journaling. Humility and the willingness to learn. All of these are critical to being able to overcome blind spots. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? Are you sure? I've got people here asking me for the notes. You should all know, ladies and gentlemen, that the actual lesson notes will be shared in the chat box shortly, and they will also be sent to you together with your certificate when you receive your certificate. All right, let me share the lesson notes now. We only usually share the lesson notes towards the end so that people attend the lesson, because some people usually take the lesson notes and go out and they don't learn anything. So that's why we do it towards the end. Miss Anu, could you share the lesson notes link, please? Thank you. Okay, let me go and share it in the chat box. One moment, please. Just one moment, please. Okay, everybody get the lesson link. You will also get the lesson link with your certificate, provided your camera was on and you were attending the lesson from beginning to the very end, or you had actually switched on your camera for attendance and actually notified us that you're at work, you will still get your certificate, providing you were here till the end of the session. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Any questions? Come on, talk to me. I want to hear your questions. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions, guys? Come on, don't be shy. Talk to me, guys. Wally's here. Why doesn't anybody want to talk to Wally? Come on, guys. Any questions? I want to see hands go up. I want at least 2 hands to go up. Come on, hurry up. I want to see at least 2 hands go up. Where are the hands? Come on, guys. Put your hands up, please. Everybody, come on. I want to see more hands go up. Only 2 hands? Come on, guys. Put your hands up. Okay, Jezebel. Jezebel says, how to be successful of small business like street food. Well, Jezebel, street food, a small business is your starting point. The way to be successful is to run your small business for 6 months, save the money that you raise as capital, and then look to actually go into a bigger business. But your small business could be a stepping stone for you to actually build a reputation and learn about what products people want or what products people like. So a small business is usually something that you invest in personally, and it's usually a good starting point, because not everybody can start a business day one and become a multinational company. So if you can run a small business first, and learn from it, then you're on the right track. All right. How to be successful if you have small capital and unknown area spot. Well, again, if you want to WhatsApp me and tell me what business or what you're facing, what your difficulties are, I'd be happy to advise you one-to-one, guys. I have no problems. Okay, let me just read this. Me too, sir. How to be successful. What business industry you can recommend? Well, it depends on where you are, what country you're in. You should know, if you want to start a business, you need to basically do your own research. You want to start a business, you need to investigate the 5 C's. You need to put yourself in the shoes of the customers that you want. You need to understand what product they want and what sort of product they're looking for. You need to understand how much they're prepared to pay for it and how they want it delivered and what countries are your market. If you've done that research and you think you have an answer, send it to me. I'm happy to look at it and give you advice. Send it to me by WhatsApp or email it to me. But tell me exactly why you want to go into that business and what part of the world you're in. All right, does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Does everybody understand what I just said? Yes or no? Are you sure? Everybody understand? Why are all these cameras switched off? Switch on your cameras, please. Okay. Has everybody enjoyed today's BizTalk? Has everybody enjoyed BizTalk? Can you put up your hands if you've enjoyed BizTalk? I only see 3 hands at the moment. Come on, more hands. Thank you, Jonah. Thank you. What can you do when you offer you 12% and you run the operation? Just hold on. Let me read that. I got a question here. Let me just go. Okay, hold on. Okay, here. What can you do when you have investor offer you 12% and you run the operation with 12%? No, I wouldn't take that. Tell the investor to keep his money. You need to control at least 51% of the business and run the business. If he's giving you only a 12% share of the business, you're working for him. That's not an investor. He's buying you out. Okay, so if you're bringing in an investor and he wants to invest in you, you should not allow him more than 49% share. You should control 51%. Because it's a new business. You know, at the later stage of the business, you might need money and have to go for more money. If you've given away more than 51%, no one will give you money. Okay, I hope that helps. If you want to ask more questions, please WhatsApp me and tell me the details, and I'd be happy to look at the plan. Send me the reasons or what your investor's offering you and why 12%. I'd be happy to give you advice. Does anybody else have any questions for Wally? Okay, Jonathan, send it to me by email and I'll try to get back to you within 3 to 5 working days. Sir, our next lesson for DHTM are still our trainer. Sorry, I don't understand. Sir, our next lesson for DHTM are still our trainer. Does that mean, Lorena, you want me as your trainer? Is that what you're trying to tell me, Lorena? Okay. All right, guys. I think I've lost connection, so I will say good night to everyone. Thank you for joining BizTalk today. I look forward to seeing you all in the very near future. Thanks, everyone. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. Have a great weekend. Thanks, everyone. See you at the next BizTalk. Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.